Hey guys, how's it going? Like Tomo here, and today is Sunday morning at 7 a.m. I'm starting pressure washing at 8 a.m. this morning. Hopefully the neighbors won't hate me too much. But on here's my trailer. As you can see, it's kind of a mess right now with a lot of hoses. I don't even have my hose carts at a house right now where I'm pressure washing. But you probably don't recognize this pressure washer here. That's because this is a rental. You probably don't recognize this Whisper Wash surface cleaner either. It's a rental as well. Obviously that's mine over there, the black framed one. I think this is a Pressure Pro, 4,000 psi, 4.5 gallons a minute, versus 3,000 psi, 2.5 gallons a minute. So needless to say, this one goes a lot faster. Honestly, this is the machine that I want to have, but I can't afford $1,000 or $1,100 right now. I mean, I can, but I just don't have enough work to justify buying a brand new one. But that's a different video. But anyways, so this all this gray hose down here came with the pressure washer rental. It's 100 feet of hose, as well as this spray gun down here. Then I rented the surface cleaner as well. It's a Whisper Wash. I think it's 16-inch, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, if you haven't seen a surface cleaner, or at least a commercial surface cleaner, you just connect your hose up here. Normally this is flipped up the other way, but you just walk along with it, and works really well, so I can't complain. But basically the way I've been doing pressure washing, since I have such an influx of work here, my brother will run this one hooked up to one side of the house for water, and he does all the cutting in and the curb and stuff, because basically the surface cleaner, see if I can kind of demonstrate or show you. So if this is your sidewalk here and the grass is over here, you're going to have a little bit left on the edge if you've ever done this before. And you can do that, you do that with the spray gun. So it's faster for me to do all the concrete wide open areas with the surface cleaner, and then have someone go behind me and cut in all the edges. And then I'll show you out here on our curb what I'm talking about on the curb. Yeah, as you can see, it's kind of foggy this morning actually. So I'll show you out here. Okay, so on our curbs, you might have a different style of curb, I don't know, but I can do all this flat area here with the surface cleaner. And then my brother or my helper Thomas will work and with another pressure washer do all this. And I have one job to finish this morning. Then I have a meeting to go to at church, and then I'll come back and I have two more. And I have to return this pressure washer and surface cleaner by 8:30 tomorrow morning. So it should be able to be done, but my plan is I'm going to do all my concrete that I have to do with this first, so that if I have to, I can do extra stuff with this tomorrow. Because I honestly hate running a surface cleaner on this North Star, because it really doesn't have enough flow for it. So basically I haven't had any time to make any videos, in case you can't tell, but if you follow me on Instagram or if you're on my Snapchat, I'll be posting videos and pictures on there and stuff, so that will have to suffice for the time being, because I just have too much work going on right now. And honestly, my plan for this season, for mowing wise, if I can sustain this amount of pressure washing work, I might end up buying a used one of these, either a belt drive or a direct drive. I'd prefer a belt drive, to be honest, because the pump is going to last longer. So a bit of information on pressure washers here. A direct drive, obviously, it's connected right to the motor, and the shaft from the motor just goes right into the pump. Works great, but that pump is turning at the same RPM as the motor, which is usually about 3600 RPM. And all the heat from the block of the motor transfers right into the pump. So the combination of heat and spinning at a high RPM wears out the pump faster than a belt drive pump. On a belt drive pressure washer, the engine sits, if you turn it, so the shaft goes this way, then there's two belts and a pump mounted down here. That pump is only turning at about 1400 RPM because of the size of the pulleys. There's going to be a small pulley on the engine, a larger pulley on the pump. So with that setup, that means that the pump is going to be turning a lot slower. So if the engine's turning at 3600, I don't know the exact size diameter-wise of the pulleys, but I know it's going to be a smaller and a larger one, and it's going to be turning around 1400 RPM. You can achieve this with a gear drive unit also, mounting a belt drive pump into a gear drive unit and going on from there. But it still transfers heat, and the idea is that you want to get as little heat into the pump as possible, because heat is what damages pressure washer pumps, especially when you have if you don't have a very good unloader. So the ideal setup is that you have a pressure washer connected to a buffer tank, and you have your unloader, which is what, when you don't have the trigger squeezed, is where it's cycling the water. So pumps cool off water flowing through them. So if you don't have water flowing through them, it's just circulating the same water, and it gets hotter and hotter. But with an unloader, a properly plumbed unloader into a buffer tank, you just discharge it right into the buffer tank, and then it's constantly pulling fresh, cool water through the pump, keeping it cool. Now, the buffer tank, you primarily need a belt drive pump, because those will pull off a buffer tank, since you don't have any house water pressure. I don't want to get too much into this. This would be a separate video, and it'd be a long video, but ideally my plan is this year, if I can sustain this amount of pressure washing, then I'm going to get one of these, either new or used. My preference would be new, but depending on my finances, I might get used. But my plan is to do pressure washing and lawn mowing, but have a constant stream of pressure washing that I'm doing, because honestly it's pretty good income and doesn't have that much overhead once you pay for your unit. And you could honestly, so let's say I buy a pressure washer for $500 used and a surface cleaner for $100 used, or $300 new at Northern Tool. Okay, so that's like $600 or $700. You can make that back in about 2 days of pressure washing, and then you've already paid off your unit, and then your overhead is basically just maintenance on your pressure washer and surface cleaner and gas, and that's fairly low cost. So definitely recommend you guys considering pressure washing to go ahead and do it. Just make sure you know what you're doing, because if you do a house wash and damage something, you're going to be in trouble. So house washing, you do soft washing, and I'll explain more of this in a separate video. I've been doing a lot of research, and I'm in some pressure washing groups on Facebook, but I'll do a separate video and talk about everything there is to know about pressure washing, at least that I know. And if you have any questions that you want answered in that video, put them below the video in the comments of this video, and I'll be sure to answer them, because I don't know if you guys have any specific questions that you need to know about, but I can probably answer them. So anyways, I don't want to make this video too long, but I need to go ahead and get hooked up to my truck here and start right at 8 o'clock so I can finish this one job before the church meeting. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later.